Hello, and this is the third episode of what I'm going to be affectionately calling "Go Fuck Yourself." Um, it's a thing that I like to say a lot. It doesn't mean what everybody wants it to mean. Doesn't mean literally go fuck yourself. When I say it anyway. When anybody else says it, you gotta ask them what they mean by it. When I say, hey, go fuck yourself, it pretty much means I'm done. I'm done with this situation. I'm done with this scenario. It's going to be I think it's going to be how I end every video. And I just want to just spend this couple seconds to let you know not to take it personally. Okay, it's not literally, okay? If you're into that thing, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I just want to remind everybody, these are always going to be unscripted unless maybe I get really good and I really want to start putting more time into this. This is a few videos to see if I can do this, if I laugh at myself while I'm doing this. If I can laugh at myself, then there's a possibility that other people might laugh at some of this stuff. I'm not a personality. This is not an act. This is not going to be just me. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with this. Maybe it's a social experiment. Maybe I'm doing this for the greater good of goodness. But I don't think so. So basically it's going to be me smoking a cigarette. When the cigarette runs out is when I'm going to stop the video. Now I'm going to stop this one a little bit earlier because I have already been blabbing for almost 2 minutes. So last episode I talked about people sucking in the parking lot as far as lights go. So today I'm going to balance it out and talk about something that I like. This year I suited up again and I re-enlisted in the gamer community. Now I used to be a really fucking hardcore gamer. I used to be a Super Nintendo guy back in the 90s. I was huge. I was born '83. My first console was a Nintendo. My first game was Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. So I'm just a little bit behind some of the review people now who maybe got their start on Super Nintendo. I got my start on regular Nintendo, and even before that, I remember playing an Atari that my grandma got at some garage sale when I was super little. So I've been there through the hard times. I was there when it started. And it was fucking hard. It was hard. Okay, so now I hear through like rumors and wisps that like grinding is kind of getting out of style. That more and more games are including content that you can buy, like the Angry Gamer was talking, or the Angry Joe. He's awesome too. I'm not trying to discredit him at all. He's an awesome. I love his videos. That's one of the people who's inspired me to do video on YouTube, is because I see them doing it and I think maybe just maybe I can do a shittier version of that. That's all. Anyway, so he was talking recently about a few AAA games that are having content that you can buy within the game, and I think that is so lazy, and I know that he's not a big fan of it either, but these kids and grinding, it's like, grinding, I'm not gonna grind, I bought the game, I should be able to beat it now, I beat it now. It's like, he has a line in one of his videos where it's like, you bought the game, you're gonna buy these other things just to beat it. I mean, why even bother playing the game? And that's exactly how I feel about it. He has a great point there. Why even bother playing the game if you're just gonna buy all the downloadable stuff to make your character a god from the first level? What's the point? One of my favorite things, and maybe there's a word for it where you like to hurt yourself or something like that, but maybe I'm like that, where I like the grind. One of my favorite things in an RPG, the first thing to do is to grind on like the first level that you can grind on, like level 1 or level 2, when you just start the game, and grind up to some impossible level that's so, like, spend like a week just grinding it out on like the first level, where there's always like a little fuzzball or like a little mushroom, or like the first enemy that you ever see, and it's just some lame little enemy. I love to fucking do that until I'm like level 10, where I'm like, maybe a fourth of the way up through the level system that the whole game even offers you, and I'm only on the first screen, so that for like the first chunk of the game, I am like a god. because I spent that week grinding and getting those levels. That's one of my favorite things to do on RPGs, Final Fantasies, even Mario RPG. I could do that on. That's a Super Nintendo game, but that was one of my favorite games. So I know this is kind of a mix. I'm not really talking about stuff that I like, but I don't want to just talk about stuff that sucks, because I did that last video. I want to try to make this a balance. So I really love the Wii U. That's what got me back into gaming. I haven't had a console since 360, which I was incredibly disappointed with. The only reason I went to Xbox after the whole Xbox PlayStation thing, because I used to have a PlayStation 1, I had a PlayStation 2, and then I went to Xbox, was because of Morrowind. Morrowind, oh my god, it was one of the best games I've ever played. Like, I can still get teary. I think if I think about it and talk about it for long enough, I know that I would get a little teary-eyed. Maybe that makes me lame, whatever. I thought it was just the music, the walking, the fact that you had to read everything. You really had to get into that game. That they didn't give you anything. They really didn't. And the whole point of the game was you're a prisoner. You're dropped off in this shitty fucking colony where they're like in the midst of settling this colony where only like the southern parts and the shorelines are settled, but the middle and some of the eastern side is still heavily held by the natives. And when you're out there and you're fucking running around and like a group of Ashlanders that are just sitting around a fire all of a sudden start attacking you because they don't like Outlanders. I mean, I like that kind of stuff. That stuff, I love that game. That game was one of my favorite games ever, and it made me go up to the Xbox. And I kept the Xbox for a long time. The last game I tried to play on that was Grand Theft Auto 5, and I know that this isn't anybody else's fault but mine, but when I went to Best Buy to try to get the memory card I needed, I didn't know enough about it, and I even asked the fucking guy, will this one work for Grand Theft Auto 5? And he said yes, and when I got home, it didn't work, it wasn't enough, because when they sell you something that's a certain gigabit, if you look at the fine print, it's actually only this many gigabit. It's not really that many that they sold you, so it's like a fine print thing, and that's my own fault for not reading the fine print. You should always read the fine print. So I get home with that bullshit, tried to play it, wouldn't work, had to go out and get another fucking memory card, and then I finally am able to play it, and I'm like, this sucks. This is not the Grand Theft Auto that I wanted to play. It really wasn't. So that hurt me so much that I stopped playing console games for a couple years. I played mobile games, which are just some of the biggest rip-offs now that exist. I mean, it's not that there isn't any good ones, it's just how many times, like, if you want to do anything really, really cool in those games, like, people just buy it. People just, they throw $100 into it. So I was playing, like, Age of Empires or something, and you have friends in that game, and when you go to see other friends, you see what their city looks like. So the people who buy everything, you pretty much go to their city and see everything that gets to happen in the future. So there's no real reason for you to, because you've seen it. The only way to make it happen is by buying it, because the fucking resources in that game are ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, it's criminal. It's fucking criminal. The first couple levels, you're Stone Age, man, fine, everything's fine. As soon as you get to the medieval age, done. You're done unless you fucking put money into it. And I hate that shit. I know I keep saying that I'm going to talk about something that I like, and I end up talking about something that sucks. So, we're almost at 10 minutes. I'm just going to end it. This one might be a fluke. This one might not actually even be a true one. But go fuck yourself.